there! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Isla, or Jess. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I figured I would do another weight loss surgery video. The other day I was kind of looking through like my Amazon orders, and you know, I noticed like a lot of the items that I purchased like to kind of help me with my bariatric surgery or through it or whatever, I purchased on Amazon. So I thought I would go through my Amazon purchase plus like just a couple other things because I wanted to like touch on the vitamins because, well, you'll see. But so I figured we'd go through and we kind of discuss like if I still use it, if I don't, if I found it helpful, like when I did need something like that, and just kind of like give you a rundown of like the things I purchased, and if I would like purchase them again, if I like went through the same thing and knew better, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to be looking down at my phone because I have like screenshots of like the stuff I got. So the very first thing I bought, like I think in anticipation of having the surgery and to kind of see like what I'd be able to eat, was this, and this one I actually still own, so I can like actually hold it up and show you, but it's this weight loss surgery cookbook. It's just by like Shasta Press. I don't think there's like an actual just single author, but it's just simple and delicious meals for every stage of recovery. And I did actually use this a decent amount when I first got it because it actually, I really like the way it broke everything down. Like, I don't know if you can see, but it has everything listed out in like the stages. So, you know, it'll have like recipes for like stage 1 and stage 2, like the puree, the soft food. So you kind of get like a little bit of everything. And I kept it because there's actually some good looking recipes in here. I never ended up making them. If you watched my first like weight loss video, like I'm also not great at like, I mean, I can cook, but I wouldn't say amazingly. But I also am kind of like lazy. There's not like tons of people in my house, so it's like cooking big meals always like kind of seem like why. So I tend to buy a lot of like pre-made meals. You know, like, again, I look at the nutrition information on those and make sure, like, I'm purchasing something good. But this does actually have some great recipes in it, so I kept it. But that was one of the first things I bought just to kind of, again, like, get a sense of what I'd be jumping into. So that was the first purchase I made. Second was this lovely set of 12-piece stainless steel like tea dinner spoons. So one of the first things they say is to help you eat a smaller portion size is to get like tiny serving spoons in order to, again, like you would just be able to put less on your fork. So I bought a pack of those and I did use them like religiously when I first had my surgery. I still use them now, like they're just in my silverware drawer, but I do tend to use kind of like dessert forks as my forks now. I never use like full size ones really unless I'm at a restaurant. But when I'm at home, I'll normally use like either one of these or like a dessert fork. So not quite as small as these are, but again, I don't need to be using like a full size fork, so it kind of worked out. So those were definitely a good purchase for me. The spoons specifically, like I ate a lot of like Jello and like sugar-free pudding in the very beginning, like when you're limited as well on like what you can eat in those first few stages. So, and those were really good about like sizing. Like I had a lot of soup, as I think I mentioned in my first weight loss video as well. So that was really helpful. Next was this awesome scale. I still use this to this day. I used it yesterday morning in my weekly weigh-in. And I loved this scale because it can connect to an app on your phone. So it's able to track, it gives you graphs. It measures like your protein, like your body fat, your water content, which I don't know how it does that. I mean, it has sensors on the scale, and then you know, like with your bare feet, I don't know, somehow it can read something, but mostly I just got it to be able to track my weight. But it does track your BMI as well, which I know is kind of an outdated, but they still use that as like a form of measurement in weight loss surgery. So it's on there if you want it, but I really like this. Again, I weigh once a week now just for maintenance purposes, and it's so nice to kind of be able to see the progress. Like I love being able to go back in mine and just see kind of where I started and where I am now, and it always amazes me. Like I'm just like gobsmacked. But Yeah, so highly recommend that purchase. I mean, there's tons of different like Bluetooth, you know, app linked scales, so you don't have to get this one necessarily, but I do recommend getting something like this if you can, because it just makes it that much easier to like help track. And I also feel like because I have it on an app, I don't know, like I said, like I don't weigh once a day. I try not to get like so obsessed with the number that I'm like measuring all the time. But again, I want to have accountability and make sure I'm not slipping back into old habits, and you know, you can tell that by numbers. So still use it. Next was this like easy crush like pill thing. Really only use this in the beginning. Like it just crushes up your pills, but like you can buy a lot of things in like powder form. So I buy a lot of like my, like the Tylenol you can buy in like little packs. And so I buy a lot of things in dissolvable or like chewable form too. So I don't really use this anymore. So it was good, but the hospital also gave me one when I left, so I didn't need to purchase one on my own. So I ended up with two, and I ended up giving both of them like to Goodwill or something. So, you know, take that as it will. You'll probably get one from the hospital, but I don't know. I'm sure not everyone does. Next is this pill case. I use this every day still. I take, again, like with this surgery, you have to take quite a few vitamins. And this is pretty small, but I wanted something like that to carry around with me every day in my work bag or in my purse. And so I do have to like change it out, because like the calcium citrate I use, which I'll talk about in a little bit, those are pretty like large size like chewables, so I can only fit like 6 in the very bottom 3 rows of this pill case. But there's differing sizes. This is just the one I happened to buy. I have since then bought like a larger travel size one to like carry more within it, so I didn't have to take all my pill bottles while I traveled. But this is good for like daily use, as long as you don't mind having to refill it. I probably refill it. Well, I definitely have to refill it like once a week, for sure, just because of the calcium citrate. Everything else lasts longer than that, but you know. Next, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to discuss vitamins in this, so I might stray a little bit from the Amazon brief, but I get these omega-3 squeeze shots, and the Coromega brand was actually recommended to me in my nutrition packet from my surgeon, and so that's why I got these. But I like that they're kind of like it's a squeeze shot, it's a gel, so you can put it in liquids if you wanted to. I just like squeeze it right out of the little plastic packet and take it in the morning. But the flavor's fine. The flavor I get is orange. I think it also says there's a tropical orange flavor, but I just get the orange one, and I have it on a like subscription on Amazon, so I get like 10% off, because these vitamins do add up. It's kind of crazy how expensive these are, but we have to take so many, so you know. But I like these. I still use them to this day, and it's a good way to get in my omega-3s quickly. Next, I bought some Jamaican black castor oil to help with like my hair thinning. I was very lucky in the sense that my hair didn't really thin or fall out that much, but I still had like hair thinning for sure, and hair loss. So I was just trying to do anything to prevent that, and I know castor oil is supposed to be good for, you know, hair thinning and hair loss, so tried it. I can't say like 100% that like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like I wouldn't say my hair like grew or that it was, but I think it might have helped like kind of keep it from getting worse, if that makes sense. Like I can't say it did much to like push it the other way, but I think it helped combat like anything further happening. So I used that for the first like quite a few months on my hair, and I did start experiencing hair thinning pretty early on. Like I want to say maybe like month 3 or so I started noticing it, but again, I got very lucky. Mine was very minimal compared to others, so I don't know if this had anything to do with that, but I did start using it pretty early, because that was one of the things that really scared me about this surgery, so, which seems silly, but here's a thing, you know. Next up, sorry, I'm running through these really quickly. I'm just trying to not make this video like a million years long like my other ones have been. So next up is this bento box like lunch set. So it comes with the like actual bento box compartment, which is like 3 stack compartments on top. It came with this little bag, a little like soup thermos, fork and spoon, and then a couple like plastic like reusable Ziplocs kind of thing. I use this every day to this day. I don't use the plastic like Ziploc bags. I do, but at the house I don't typically take those with me like on the daily for lunch. And then I did use the soup thermos a lot in the beginning when I was eating soup in that first liquid phase, but since then I haven't really used it that much because again, soup's kind of like, I know, I got really put off soup after that whole experience. It was intense. But this is my lunch bag I take every day. I use the bento box and I put like yogurt in the bottom and like a little, it's like a perfect fit. And these aren't even meant to fit in there, but like I have a little Tupperware, put yogurt in with some chia seeds, stick that at the bottom of this bento box. In the middle is like my meat, cheese, and veggie, and at the top I do like some kind of nut that I normally like. I take almonds typically, and it fits perfectly in this little lunch bag. And then I take one protein shake in there just as kind of like a backup in case I need it. If I'm running around, don't have a chance to eat like the actual proper lunch, or if I'm just feeling really hungry that day and I want to have like an additional snack between like my breakfast and like my lunch, if I have it later, whatever the case. This has been really handy and I really like it. It's small, compact. The lunchbox I was using prior to that was kind of like a really small cooler almost. It still like was lunch bag size, but it was just bigger than this, and I just felt like I didn't need that much space, especially now that I'm eating like a weird bird. So this has been great. Next up is these Jordan Skinny Mixes. They're the like sugar-free coffee pumps, like syrups that you can pump into coffee. They're not the actual pumps, Jessica. Anyway, so I drink coffee every day, clearly, and we're just kind of, once again, kind of limited, and I was missing my, like, Starbucks drinks, and so I decided to order one of these flavors, and I actually still use these to this day. Like, I have, like, little dispensers that I use in the morning, and I normally have 2 flavors, so I can kind of pick between what I want to do. Obviously, during, like, the holiday season, I always get, like, the white chocolate mocha and, like, the peppermint mocha ones and all that, but pumpkin spice coming up. Way too excited about that. But anyway, but yeah, these are really good. They just kind of make my coffee, add that like a little something to my coffee. I wouldn't say like the flavor is super like pinpointed. Like you can definitely tell the difference, but it also overall just has like a sweetness that it adds to your coffee, which I enjoy. I also use like vanilla protein shake as my creamer, and then I put fiber in there. So I kind of have this little concoction that I make my coffee with, but I've really enjoyed them. And it just kind of adds a little extra something. Next up, these are actually more of a recent purchase, but I only bought these like kind of at the end of last year when I needed a new set, but they have been amazing. I bake, and so these, I think it's called the Cook with Color 12-piece measuring cup set, and I bought these originally for that, but ultimately these are so good because there's so many measuring spoons, and like you have all the little sizes included in there. It's great if you are really still measuring out portion sizing, all that stuff. I'm kind of to the stage now where I kind of know what kind of a certain portion should look like for me. Like again, I don't use like the measuring spoons like exactly anymore, but like I just did so much in the beginning that now I am kind of able to eyeball it. But if you do want to have like exact measurements for something, these are great. Again, they have all the little sizes in between. Typically a set would only come with like maybe 2 or 3 of the like spoons and then like the actual cups, but this one has like everything in between. So it's great for cooking, for meal prepping. They're awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed these. Plus they're like very aesthetically pleasing, which for me, I just love that. So the next thing we'll kind of continue on the cooking, little span we're going on here. But this is something I actually purchased a year or so, or maybe 2 years prior to my surgery, because again, I got into baking. But after I had my surgery and like during that pre-week pre-op diet that I had to do, English is eluding me today once again, I got this kitchen scale, and it is amazing. Like in the beginning, especially like when I was measuring things out, when I had to, measure carbs and all that stuff, like, this is really great to like also like, you know, when you're doing like the 2 ounces of protein and like you want to get like how many grains you're getting and how much veg and all that stuff, like you can set your plate on top of this, you know, set it to grams and then just clear it out with each new item, and it's perfect. It's awesome. It also works great for baking, but I know that's not what this is about. But this is so awesome once, especially once you get past your surgery and you really are trying to measure out like weight portions. This is a great scale. I know they have tons of other scales too, and they'll probably work great. And again, this one's a few years older because I think I bought this in like 2018, but it's worked wonderful and I still use it to this day as well. Lastly, I figured I guess one more thing is, so once I actually had my surgery and I wanted to start cooking more, once I got kind of to the end of my stages and I could reintroduce all different foods, I went ahead and got another cookbook just because I really liked the look of this one. And this is First Start Bariatric Cookbook. And this one is by an author. It's Sarah Kent. She's an MS, RDN, CD registered dietitian, nutritionist. And this one just had, I really liked a lot of the recipes. The look of a lot of the recipes looked really good. Some of them didn't look too complicated because that's one of the things, again, like I was saying earlier, like I'm such a lazy cook that I need to have like, you know, a good, just easy recipe. Like for example, there's this like lemon and dill tuna salad. This was really good. I did make this one time. So lastly, I just wanted to kind of talk about vitamins, since that's such a big part of having the surgery, and I've been really regimented and strict about taking my vitamins, and I do feel like it's been helpful to me. And not all of these are the ones I started out with. Like I, you know, transitioned through a few, but these are the ones I'm currently taking. I will mention a couple like of the ones that I didn't like because I wanted to address that real quick. So this first one is one of the ones that I didn't end up continuing to use. So I was one of the recommended like companies to use was Unjury, which is a kind of like, they have like specific vitamins for bariatric patients. And so the first one I got was this bariatric multi-chewable with 45 milligrams of iron. I ate one of these and I felt so nauseous and like I had to throw up. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to take them again. So I like stopped using them. And I decided to try all my vitamins from here first, just because they were the ones that were recommended and they are specific to bariatric patients. So next one I got was the bariatric calcium citrate plus chewable. These ones I actually still use to this day. I have trouble finding calcium citrate chewables like through the grocery store or through Amazon that have like decent, well, really just finding them in general, but also making sure they have like good ingredients and good like stats. But these ones, they're really not bad. I think they're also orange citrus flavor, just like the omega-3, but they're mostly really chalky and kind of like tart. So I really feel like the flavor is kind of lost in it, but they're really not too bad. And again, I've had trouble finding this. If you sign up on their website and order them, you can also do the subscription, so you'll get like a percentage off, but you still have to pay for shipping, so they end up being kind of pricey, which is another reason like this is the only one I now purchase from Unjury. But I did also try their vitamin B12 plus folic acid, which I did really like. I just got to the point where I was like, I'm paying a lot of money for this, and like I'm always having to pay for shipping, and they ship at different times too, because like there's more in like the B12, so that'll last me longer. Like it's just, it never lines up correctly, so I always end up paying for shipping, and so I stopped using them. So I now actually buy vitamins from my local grocery store, and they're also the B12 plus folic acid, and they've been working great for me. They're the same where you like stick them in your cheek and they dissolve, sublingual. And so they've worked totally fine for me. And lastly, because I couldn't stand the multivitamins that were like through the Unjury website, I started buying these Easy Melts multivitamin plus iron on Amazon. It's another one where you can subscribe and save, so I do that. And then of course, like I'm a Prime member, so I get free shipping. So they were cheaper to begin with, and then but they've worked great for me. And they're another one of those that dissolve in your mouth. They don't have a great flavor. What is the flavor on these? They're tropical cherry. I wouldn't say they're like a strong cherry. Like you can definitely kind of tell it's some type of fruit or cherry-ish vibe, but I feel like all these vitamins aren't necessarily like wonderful. The B12 is the only one that's really not that bad because I think it's really tiny, so it's more flavorful and like small and just kind of easily dissolves, whereas like the other ones are big and chalkier. I don't know. I lied because I have one last thing, and that's my fiber. So when I first started taking fiber, I was buying like a huge thing of Benefiber to use like while I was at home. And then I also bought these like travel ones, which I'll put like the travel ones up here. But the Benefiber is just basically the big container of the same thing. But I like the travel ones because when you're traveling, or I always keep some in my bag, so if I want to have some like when I'm out, I have those, and they're really convenient, like small little packets, and so those are great. So I always keep some of those on hand. But now I've stopped buying like the Benefiber, well, I guess like the name brand Benefiber large tub to keep at home, and I now buy this Kirkland brand one. I feel like they're the same thing, and this one's cheaper, so that's why I started buying this. But you can buy these anywhere, and there's also off brands that aren't from Costco, I'm sure, but I just have a Costco membership, and I saw this, and the price was decent, so I went with it. But that is really all the stuff that I bought off of Amazon and, well, sort of other places for all my bariatric surgery needs. There was some things that they recommended that you can get that I didn't get. For example, like they said, you can buy children's plates or small like portion plates that like actually have like divisions and portions. I just use like side dinner plates as mine, and I still use those to this day as well. I just didn't want to buy, like, I don't have children, so like having children's plates seemed like over time like I might stop using them. And then I just already had these in my house, so I figured I could use them, and they've worked great. But I think that's kind of it. Really, I just wanted to kind of go through my Amazon purchases and let you know, and maybe this will help you if you're, needing to get stuff before your surgery. And feel free to ask any questions below too if you're not sure if like there's something I get. Like I know, like for example, like the stomach binders, a lot of people either get those from the hospital or they purchase them themselves. I never used one personally, and I never felt like I necessarily needed one, but I know some people say that it does kind of help them feel like everything's like in place. So I feel like some stuff's just personal preference. But yeah, if you have any questions or you're not sure about something, let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.